イランも追い詰められたものだな。イランは膝をついたアイアンストライク作戦前進させろ。
All lies will be exposed.
Hello, this is a Saturday morning special. While we all comfortably slept on the last day of February, World War III seems to be on the horizon. How apropos. Look at that. WW3. Or either that, perhaps, again, maybe, hopefully we don't have World War III, but military actions. What do I mean by this? Well, while we all slept, the United States and Israel bombed Iran. What could go wrong? The answer is a lot, as Iran is now literally retaliating across all the Middle East. Another perfect distraction for us to be consumed with, as once again, we are in another forever war, endless war. I can't even remember the last time we've been at peace, but a lot of people have been right now sharing this, posting this all over social media. It's almost as if this World War III, or this military action on Iran, is a distraction, so that we're not paying attention to 3.5 million files that were released at the end of January and have been covering and dominating the news stories throughout all of February of the Epstein files, which exposed billionaires, CEOs, Wall Street financiers, philanthropists, philosophers, scientists, actors, actresses, directors, politicians, royalty, and being associated, friends with, by proxy, knew, and were very well aware of or heard down the grapevine of Jeffrey Epstein and how he was a PDF file engaged in illicit, illegal activities with minors, and yet they called him a nice guy. Boy, oh boy, good thing there's a war to distract us from all that. Sorry, I mean, look, let's be clear on this. We all knew that there's going to be something that the Epstein administration, I mean Trump administration, was going to do to have us be distracted from the Epstein files. I mean, the Epstein administration can't have anybody know about the Epstein files. I mean, the Trump administration can't have anybody know about what's going on with the Epstein files. I'm sorry. Why am I saying Epstein a whole lot? Because we can't forget this. So no matter what, don't worry. All of 2025, I am confident. All of 2025, they tried to bury this story, and they're going to try and do it now again. By the way, there's still 3 million other files that have not been released, and a majority of the files have been also heavily redacted. The 3.5 that have been recently been released, and it's also been confirmed and reported that the DOJ has been deleting some photos and other information that was unavailable. Thankfully, Representative Thomas Massie and a few others noticed it, and we were able to catch it in real time. But nonetheless, I'm Kit Cabello. How's your Saturday morning doing? I hope you're doing well. Hit the like button, like, comment, share, subscribe. Boost it up for the algorithm and rhyme, because heaven forbid people actually find out what's going on here. So the president of these United States, the president of the Epstein administration, I mean Trump, of the Trump administration, gave a speech about the United States military combat operations in Iran. What could go wrong? Well, here's the president speaking in real time. I know, folks. I know. Don't you feel like a sucker? You see, we had a revolution in this country. No taxation without representation, right? We don't want to pay our taxes to people, right? But now we pay our taxes to have politicians protect PDF files. We had a revolution not to pay taxes, and now we pay taxes for our politicians to protect PDF files. Doesn't that warm your heart for the 4th of July that's coming around the horizon? Anyways, Mr. President, tell us why this war is incredible and huge.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious, group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S.
I'm sorry, I just got to address this here. You know, one thing that really pisses me off about a lot of these talk shows, especially Piers Morgan, you know, when they talk about Iran with the Ayatollah, they go to the Shah and how things were great under the Shah and there was a Western influence in Iran. For the love of Christ, can we look at a little bit before the Shah? Because things don't happen just because. You don't just go ahead, wake up one morning and, oh, this Ayatollah guy, he sounds great. This Ayatollah of rock and roller. Iran, if you're going to be bombing us, don't bomb us because I made that joke. But, you know, no one's going to want the Ayatollah. Well, actually, I would like the Ayatollah of rock and roller running things around. But anyways, hey, got to have humor before the mushroom clouds start flying over our heads. 1950s. There was a national government in Iran. Now, they did something that was a big no-no, apparently. In the business, we call that a no bueno. And that is they wanted to nationalize the oil to help out their citizens. Now, ideally, again, never trust really governments or anything like that, but it sounds good on paper. It's too bad British oil companies, American corporations, oil corporations, the CIA, British Intelligence Secret Service, you know, Winston Churchill, I know. And you know him, you love him. Let's get busy. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Well, the Eisenhower administration, all those fantastic friends, decided, nope, that's going to be a no bueno. Remove the national government and put in the Shah, and things were okay. Let me let you on a little hint. If the people are suffering and they're so desperate to go to a religious extremist, it tells me, and should tell all of you, that the Shah of Iran was not good for business for the people of Iran. So that's the reason why, you know, things are the way they are. It's because we helped create it. The Ayatollah was a reaction of us putting in the Shah. How different things would be if Iran did have a national government, a democracy, a republic. Wouldn't that be great? Only in the timeline if Aurelian didn't die. Anyways, I will keep my pausing halted here. I just had to get this out here. You know, just had to throw it out there because people forget. People forget, you know, why there is an Ayatollah. Not of rock and roll, but there's an Ayatollah.
U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal. Something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon.
But they're always a week away from it. Sorry, I don't mean to you pause, but there's always a week away. It's like, come on, Iran. You're that sloppy. They're always a week away. And why is it the British, that Israeli and American intelligence services always man to capture? Like, oh, they're a week away. Oh, they're a week away. Like, we'll never hear it. Like, they're months away. They're 2 months away, guys. Guys, we're in advance. No, they're always so sloppy. They're always a week away. Always a week away. You're 1 week away from an atomic bomb. Gadzooks! An atomic bomb. Always a week away. Speaking about hurting citizens, I mean, my goodness, good thing there were no operations recently happening last year and early this year where, American citizens were getting shot at, detained. Heaven forbid. Good thing we don't got that here. God, man. If Aurelia never died, this timeline would not have sucked so bad.
I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But
Evil. Woogie, boogie, 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 boogie. Boogie, 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 woogie.
Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their...
You know what's very interesting? Anyways, there was recently, we did a segment about how one of the aircraft carriers, a $1 billion ship, was having crap toilet problems, because designers built it on the cheap. They didn't really think about, putting in more toilets for a ship that holds 4,000 people, 5,000 people, give or take, in between, whatever. One has to wonder if they also built the cheap, cut around corners for any kind of missile defense, because the last time Iran literally launched its missiles, Israel was having trouble with their Iron Dome shooting down those missiles, and those missiles went on through. Granted, I don't want to see anybody die. Iranians, Israelis, Palestinians, Americans. I don't want anyone to die. In fact, I'm going to go by this slogan. I want people to stop dying. That's right, people of the free world. I want you to stop dying right now. But we're not going to get that. And so in turn comes madness and stupidity. The stupidity of war. There will be no peace. Because one, it's a good distraction from the Epstein files. And two, it's good for business, right? People will die so the rich can get richer. Where's the collective rage at? We're so close to exterminating ourselves. I mean, there have been many mass extinctions on Earth, but all of them had a good reason. It was nature, Mother Nature, taking its course. The power of this planet. Or either that, what happened to the dinosaurs. But humanity, it's going to be very special. Not some super volcano, the shift in the magnetic poles, or some asteroid's going to take us out. It's going to be us. Because we've learned not to love our brothers. and we let the rich lead us that way. The rich, who, mind you, by the way, have so much in common with the inbred royalty of antiquity. You know, a lot of those people had problems, right? People say, oh, yes, I'm related to a royal house. Pray to God that you never will be. Those people are inbred. They're stupid. We're being led by mad, stupid people. The Epstein files is evidence enough as it is. These are sick people. These are very sick, mentally ill people. Take away their crowns, take away their money, and they're really awkward, very socially challenged, inept, should be psychologically institutionalized people. Okay? They are not capable of being human because they don't know what it means to be a human. Our leaders are inhuman. Who says, yes, let's start another war and think it's going to be great?
IEDs, or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future.
It's sort of like that meme from Shrek. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Or as my personal favorite, and yes, this was a line. It is an actual thing. It's from an anime, and a character said this. People die when they are killed. Truer words. People die when they are killed. People die when they are killed.
And it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death.
Okay, listen, Iran is different than Iraq. And I'll just say this. If we do eventually put boots on the ground, that's going to be, I'm not saying that it won't be done. I'm saying maintaining and operating and, occupying a country like Iran, especially many areas in which it's mountainous. Good luck. Good luck. Because remember, that's their home. That's their home. And many of an empire, just like in Afghanistan, when they tried to conquer Persia, Iran, usually is their tomb. Because after all, are we still in Afghanistan? No. The Taliban came back, guns a-blazing. What could go wrong, everybody? What could possibly go wrong?
Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond.
Gee, I don't know how they're going to respond if their city's being bombed by a foreign power and Israel. Oh, yeah, sure. Slap me in my face, spit in my eyeball, bang my wife, shoot my dog, take a dump in my backyard. I love you. Hey, everyone, if that happened to you, would you be okay? Type 1 for yes, Kit. I'm happy to be a cuck. Type 2, if anybody did even a fraction of that, I'm burying them. They won't find the body. I wonder how many 2s will be in the chat.
America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
And what could go wrong? Black Zen, who is also a student of Federation history, X, writes, all I'm saying is if a Democrat were president, shite libs would be supporting this war. You're not wrong. Listen, if this was Biden or Kamala Harris, man, would the liberals be like, woo, look how strong this Democrat is. By the way, Democrats spread their cheeks wide open so that they could allow this to happen. They got on their knees and was tongue all on out saying, yes, put the war in my mouth. That's what the Democrats did. Democrats are okay with this. They're okay with this, folks. I promise you. But I got something exclusive here, too. Super exclusive. Super exclusive, incredible, magnificent. This is another video of Trump actually having a full-on negotiation with Iran. Take it away, Mr. President.
The program which does not exist, even though it does.
Which I obliterated last summer, even though I did not.
Which is why we cannot give it up.
Which is why you must.
And we might, but only if you will give up the sanctions, which are not killing us, even though they are.
Well, only if you give up your other weapons, which you will not.
Donald, are you still talking to the Iranians, even though you shouldn't?
Simmer down, baby. I'm already letting you take more land that you say is yours, even though it isn't.
Why does he get to be the only country with nuclear weapons that don't exist, even though they do?
I mean, you keep saying this country shouldn't exist, even though it does.
But
hey, wait a minute. What's that sound?
The sound of people who are not protesting, even though they are.
Maybe I promised to help them again, even though I didn't.
Donald, enough. You can't win a prize for ending a war that you didn't start unless you do.
You mean the prize that was given to me, even though it was not? Well, now we're talking. Now we are really talking.
By the way, don't you find it funny that Trump actually has a Nobel Peace Prize? That stupid lady from Venezuela gave him her Nobel Peace Prize, and she's still not going to be president of Venezuela. Talk about being a cuck. But there's more to this. So, of course, you're going to have people saying that this is an abuse of power, and this is a failure of the administration, that, of course, Trump did not ask Congress if he could do any military actions. So, in other words, for example, Representative Thomas Massey, he wrote this. Acts of war unauthorized by Congress. The U.S. is attacking Iran according to the Associated Press. Exactly. And Congress was not involved. And sadly, Congress isn't going to do anything. Here we got row your boat, Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna, what's going on, baby?
Donald Trump has launched a war on Iran. The Congress must reconvene on Monday to vote on Thomas Massey and my war powers resolution to stop this war. Trump says his goal is to topple the Iranian regime. But the American people are tired of regime change wars that cost us billions of dollars and risk our lives. We don't want to be at war with a country of 90 million people in the Middle East. Every member of Congress must go on record today on how they will vote on Thomas Massey and my war powers resolution.
Well, good luck, guys, because, hey, listen. If there's one thing I want to be clear on, folks, there's nothing I say or do can stop this war. And no Ho-Fest protest, especially, yes, I know. Apparently, it came to my attention, and I didn't want to even address it. It came to my attention that there's going to be another No Kings March. No Kings March. Kit, how do you feel about No Kings March? How do you feel about No Kings March?
And here's what I think about it.
Yeah, that's what I think about No King's March, okay? But all right, so woogly boogly boogly. You have people talking about doing protests, and protests ain't gonna do jack, okay? This is gonna require something completely different. But we understand that these politicians are all owned by the military industrial complex, Democrat and Republican. And I want to be clear on this. There's one person right now that's so happy. I mean, they are running out of hell, jumping up and down like a horny kangaroo. And you know who I'm talking about. The guy who loves war, the guy who needs war, Ladybug himself, Lindsey Graham Cracker. Lindsey. Oh, you better believe that he at least was so happy climbing up the walls. Lindsey Graham Cracker. The floor is yours.
You're feeling today, and as the operation unfolds with your military background, are you pleased with the objectives?
My feeling today is that I'm very glad that President Trump won and Kamala Harris lost. I don't try to be political at moments like this, but I'm responding to the senator from Arizona.
That's your freaking job. You're supposed to be a politician. We're ruled over by sociopaths. And by the way, folks, you know that he's happy about this.
Who took a shot at this operation. Yep. Unfortunately, the modern Democratic Party is pathetic in the face of evil. Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, they embrace deals that make no sense. The difference between Donald Trump and our Democratic colleagues, he's common sense. He understands the world. I've been talking to him continuously for days and weeks. He's of the mindset that the Ayatollah is Hitler in a robe wearing a turban, that he's not capable of changing his ways. He reached out to him to tell.
Let me get this straight. Hitler in a turban wearing a robe. Why is it? What, you know what? Here's the sad fact. World War II is going to be watered down so much it's going to become a Saturday morning cartoon show. Adolf Hitler is going to be the archetype cartoon villain. Everybody I don't like is Hitler. The latte drinking liberals and woke snowflakes 8 years ago were using that. Now, and guess what? Conservatives, you're going to be using that now too. Everyone you don't like is Hitler. I mean, what? Like, oh, this person's worse than Hitler. This person's Hitler. I mean, come up with somebody else. All right? Somebody else. Oh, he's Hitler. He's Hitler. He's Hitler wearing a robe. He's Hitler wearing a French hat. He's Hitler wearing a fisherman hat. He's Hitler with no pants. He's Hitler rollerblading. He's Hitler who likes to ice skate. He's Hitler like this. He's Hitler like that. It's just like ancient aliens. Did ancient aliens build the pyramids? Did ancient aliens build Stonehenge? Did ancient aliens eat your lunch? Did ancient aliens bang your wife? Did ancient aliens steal your car? Did ancient aliens steal your job? Okay, yeah, Hitler wearing a turban and a robe. That's a funny image.
Just to see if he would. Donald Trump does not get us entangled in forever wars, but he sure as hell stands up to the bad guys and he makes us safer. This is the most consequential decision any president's made since 1979 because of President Trump's understanding of the evil nature of this regime. He has set in motion its demise. This military operation is overwhelming. It will bring this regime down. President Trump called on the Iranian people to seize the moment. I believe they will. What's going to happen is that the regime will lose power gradually throughout the country. There'll be cities that fall to the people. The regime will get isolated. To the military leaders in Iran, we're watching everything you do. President Trump said, lay down your arms. Those that do will be rewarded. Those that fight for the Ayatollah, you will pay a heavy price. I hope the Ayatollah is captured.
Look, the last thing I need is people say, kid has a beard too, just like the Ayatollah. No, you stop that right now. Almost sounds like there's an airplane above my house. That's probably nothing.
Or killed. He's a miserable human being. He's Hitler in a robe.
That's the second time you said that. What kind of robe? A bathrobe? Huh?
Has killed over 30,000 of his own people to maintain power. He is a religious Nazi. He wants to kill all the Jews. He wants to purify Islam, and he wants to come after us. And if you don't believe that, you're crazy. Hitler wrote a book. He wanted to kill all the Jews. Nobody believed him. And 50 million people later, it was too late. Donald Trump is a different cat. President Trump is a man of peace, but he's a man not to be trifled with. What I think will happen, I think over time this regime will fall. And let me tell you what's going to replace it. You're going to have people in Iran who love America, love Trump, and like Lindsey Graham, and they're going to be our allies.
Oh, get out of here. Hey, what, like Donald Trump and like Lindsey Graham? Did you speak about yourself in third person? Yeah, they're gonna love Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey Graham loves them. Ladybug. Your head's getting a little too big there, buddy.
I see, but here's the big picture. With the fall of the largest state sponsor of terrorism, the pathway to peace and prosperity in the Mideast is going to be wide, and it's going to be long, and it's going to be a 1,000-year moment here. What will happen next if the regime falls? I think Saudi Arabia, the keeper of the holy mosque in Mecca and Medina, the center of Islam, will go back to the table to try to do peace with Israel. We were close before October the 7th. October the 7th was designed to stop normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel. I think when this regime collapses, we'll be back at the table of normalization. If Saudi Arabia recognizes Israel, it will be the biggest change in 1,000 years in the history of the Mideast. If this regime falls, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, terrorist network supported by Iran, will collapse slowly but surely. The mothership of terrorism is about to go down. There's a new dawn coming in the Mideast. There's an opportunity for the region to build on the Abraham Accords started in President Trump's first term. This is the most significant thing that's happened in my lifetime. It's the most significant thing that's happened in the Mideast in 1,000 years.
And be careful when you're saying it's the most significant thing to happen in 1,000 years in the Middle East, because there's been a lot of significant historic events in the last 1,000 years in the Middle East. Okay, so let's hold on, put the brakes on that, baby. All right. This is called Operation Ignore the Epstein Files.
The gold standard for Republican foreign policy is no longer Ronald Reagan. It is Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump has liberated our backyard by taking Venezuela down, a narco-terrorist state. Cuba is now isolated because the mothership of Venezuela has fallen. He's gone after terrorist leaders, one after another. He is now on the verge of taking down the largest state sponsor of terrorism that's haunted America since 1979, American blood on his hands. And this is due to the resolve of President Trump and understanding who he's dealing with. President Trump understood that he really didn't have a good partner for peace. The Ayatollah is not interested in deals. He's interested in destruction. He has a religious Nazi view of the world. Hitler wanted a master race, the Aryan race, to rule the world. The Ayatollah wants his version of Islam to rule Islam and the world. Donald Trump got it.
I mean, come on. Like, listen. You're almost trying to like this is a big old Access cartoon villain, like evil council. Meanwhile, the Council of Evil in Tehran. All the evil forces are gathering around to discuss their evil plans to take over the world.
He did it, and it's in motion now. God bless President Trump. To all of our troops out there, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. If you get hurt, you fall in this endeavor, this enterprise called Epic Jury, you will have sacrifice would have been for a noble cause.
Sacrifice for a noble cause. Are you going to take care of our veterans and give more money to the VA? You're going to ensure that every single veteran is not going to be suffering from PTSD? Because since the Iraq War, many veterans, especially in groups that I've known, have committed self-deletion, right? Right? How are you going to take care of us, right? Because that actually hits close home to me. The Iraq War, the Afghanistan War, were we ever taken care of properly? No. Of course. Hey, your sacrifice for a noble cause. Support the troops, but when they come home, become veterans, give them the middle finger, right? Yeah. Say it again, Lindsey Graham Cracker. Say it again, Ladybug.
To all of our troops out there, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. If you get hurt, you fall in this endeavor, this enterprise called Epic Jury, you will have sacrifice would have been for a noble cause. This is why you serve. To the American people, get behind this operation. We're about to liberate Iran, which will set in motion peace and prosperity no one could even envision as recently as a year ago. This is a big friggin' deal.
Yeah, but let's really talk about, who really wants this? The American people? No. I mean, for Christ's sakes, right now these military actions are being done, in my opinion, to distract everyone from the Epstein files.
Everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support. Period. You can't primary every Thomas Massey, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on. And you can shut down X, and you can shut down the internet. You can be like Great Britain and arrest people who protest.
And by the way, people of Britannia, look, man, for the love of God, remember your true Roman name. What the hell is up with you guys? Come on. You got to listen. You got to find your inner Britannian voice. With the great artists, leaders, men and women of Britannia stand by and allow themselves to get arrested because of a stupid Facebook meme or a post on Facebook. Listen, all you got to do is either respond back, ignore it, or find a person and slap them in the mouth. Number one. Okay, I don't encourage obviously going out starting fights or anything, but there you go. But I'm going to call police to arrest you. Blah, 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 blah. Lawsuit. Those are tools for the weak. You go ahead and shit talk them right back, just like on a porta john or in a bathroom stall, call them names, whatever. Ignore it. Well, go ahead. Trial by combat. Fight it out. That's the Kit Cabello method. Is it correct? No. Does it make more sense than all this stupid stuff of people getting arrested because of social media posts or needless, pointless, stupid wars? Hashtag Kit Cabello is bringing back trial by combat. People got problems with each other. You bring it in a ring, and it stays in a ring. When you walk out, one person walks out. There. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3. It makes sense.
Primary every Thomas Massey, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on. And you can shut down X, and you can just shut down the internet. You can be like Great Britain and arrest people who protest Israel, but attitudes are not going to revert to what they were 5 years ago. Sorry. And they know this. So this is their last chance. What's so amazing is that Israel, which at least is acting in what it perceives to be its own national interest, is joined by its shills in the United States, of course. But really, its only other ally in this is the American news media, whose job it is to tell you the truth and inform you as to what's happening, to tell you, hey, wake up. The world could be changing, and it's going to affect you and your family. That's their job. And instead, they've been lulling you to sleep with the same variety of transparent lies and propaganda.
All right. So first of all, I want to take a quick short break here because I've got a couple of super chats here. Let me just at least acknowledge them, and I want to give full thanks to them. First of all, Samuel Ortez, 105, tip $10. Bro, we've got to organize nationwide to stop this. You have a platform. Why don't you, Jimmy, the Due Dissidents Boys, try to get something going? I'm all for it. And in fact, I will say this right now to anyone that is against this war, be it libertarian, Republican, liberal, anyone progressive side, and listen, let's put aside our beefs for a second. Let's put aside, I'm willing to forgive and forget. Anybody that's vocally against this war, I say we form a short common alliance to really speak out as one. Then we could go right back to hating each other, throwing steel chairs, whatever. I'm making a call for reason. Anybody that's on board for it, then yes, Samuel, I'm on board for it. Okay? But there's a lot of people with ego and pride. Now, I'm pretty sure Jimmy's for it. Due dissidents, yes. But I can't speak for them. I can't. It's not fair for me. But I would say, for the most part, yeah, we'd agree. A joint social media campaign, both online, on the ground, for people being anti-war and actually getting Congress to stop this. Boom. Yes. There needs to be more vocal input, more pressure. So I'm all for it. If the Mad King's got to be the first one to go ahead and to shoot the horn, then okay, let's do it. Let's do it. But it also requires people too, because I don't want people to think they need to listen to one content creator. Because what I'm proud about for Hard Lens Media is I have an audience that challenges me critically. Okay? And that means we all have to start stepping up too. You in your neighborhood, your community, your small town, big city, whatever state you're in, you have to be a leader in your own right too. Everyone's got to step up and lift the burden. Not just one channel, not just one person, everyone. Everyone. Back from the road to $4.09. Last time I saw Graham, he double parked in a handicapped spot at my local VA while doing a photo shoot. Just all around dirtbag. Is that true? Back from the road. And also from Nocturnal Human, $1. Do these boomer politicians know we know more than what the people on TV tell us? We know everything they're saying is a lie. Absolutely. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. So there you go. All right. And no, Salty Digital Dive. We're not rallying behind Bernie Sanders or AOC. No. No politician. No politician. We don't rally around the politicians. We literally push them aside. It's us that has to lead, not them. Okay? There. Boom. Boom. I think we should do that. Anyways. Folks. I mean, Tucker Carlson was speaking some common sense. Hey, speaking of common sense, U.S. Senator John Fetterman. Take it away, baby. Operation Epic Fury. President Trump has been willing to do what's right and necessary to produce real peace in the region. God bless the United States and our great military and Israel. Listen to the fear in this woman's voice. Now, who wants to time travel? Hey, it's President Trump. 2011. Obama will start war with Iran. What, Trump?
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So,
correction, I believe that video, a woman was cheering for the bombing. Okay, great. What could go wrong?
So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran.
Wow. Gee, Trump, sounds like you were against war with Iran too. Hold on. Here's something from the Biden-Harris administration. Long time ago. Time travel.
Matt, in your response to Libya and to Simon, as a matter of fact, you urged that it's not in their interest to respond and so on. But at least, do they have the right to respond? I mean, is that part of self-defense?
So, as I just answered that question,
on the issue of self-defense,
I just answered that question in response to what I got from Simon. A right is one thing. Right. Taking steps that are productive and are conducive to the interests of their people, that are conducive to the interests of the broader region, are another question. And in no way would a retaliatory action by Iran in any way serve the interests of the Iranian people or the broader region.
And that's precisely why I'm asking you, because you mentioned the word right. So you are acknowledging that they do have the right to respond.
No, I did not acknowledge that.
Okay.
I acknowledged the question.
Okay, then let me ask you, if this was, let's say, happened in any of the Western capitals, wouldn't they be sort of obligated to respond?
I'm not going to deal with a hypothetical.
Okay, all right. We'll deal with something real. Last week, a week ago, yesterday, Sunday, an Iran rocket hit, or maybe intentional, hit a small town of Majil Shams, a Syrian town, Syrian citizens, and so on. And you said that Israel had a right to defend itself. I'm not you personally, but I'm saying now. So what's different? I mean, everybody was everyone.
Now, this was like the last administration, the Biden-Harris administration. It's Count Smirkula. Don't you miss that guy?
Was saying Israel has a right to defend itself. Why doesn't Iran have a right to itself when the guest house, I don't want to make comparisons, but it's like the guest house in London or maybe Blair House or anything. I mean, something that really touched the sovereignty of Iran.
So I take the point of your question, Saeed. It is not in any way, however, useful at all for anyone in the region for Iran to consider taking such steps because of the risk, as I said, that this could potentially get out of control. And that's the message we will continue to impress on them.
All right.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. But, you know, just want to throw this out here. There was a person, somebody who I hope will be able to respond to this soon, but I guess he doesn't give a damn. Trump doesn't give a damn what this person says. I remember when she was very vocal and anti-war. I remember when she used to say a lot of things about being anti-war. Boy, oh boy, like any politician, do they know how to lie? You know? I mean, when politicians lie to you, man, it sucks, you know? See, at least at a strip club, it's more authentic because, you know, the stripper has to pretend to like you, you know? And you get it. Like, in the back of your mind, you should kind of, like, you know, go into a strip club, realize, they don't like you. But see, when you elect these politicians, you think, like, oh, they're supposed to care about you, but they don't. They don't. But see, you know, Tulsi time. It's Tulsi time. Tulsi, didn't you speak before Congress and say that Iran actually doesn't have WMDs? Hello?
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
What we informed and what we reported was that we did not have, as in coincidence with some of the sources you mentioned there, that we did not have any proof of a systematic effort to move into a nuclear weapon.
The IC continues to assess that Iran.
Wow, Tulsi. Damn, you know? By the way, I want to pull up something else here, too. We're going to time travel. Time travel to 2020. What an innocent year that was. Tulsi, what's going on here? You said something almost 6 years ago. Say it again. One more time for the people in the back.
Here now exclusively, Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, a 2020 Democratic presidential candidate, combat veteran, and major in the Army National Guard. She is campaigning tonight in New Hampshire. Thank you very much, Congresswoman Gabbard. Good to have you here tonight.
Damn, eating the shite and being part of the Trump administration. You know, a lot of this has aged like milk, but man, is it delicious, you know?
Thank you, Martha. Appreciate the opportunity.
So obviously you think this is heading in a very bad direction. What do you think happens next?
Well, we've got to be clear-eyed about the.
That's not fair. Don't you compare it to a glorified stripper. A glorified stripper has honor. Politicians don't, Voluntera. Shame on you. Get up and go see the White House counselor.
Situation that we are in, that inching closer, actually more than inching, speeding towards an all-out war with Iran would make the wars that we've seen in Iraq and in Afghanistan look like a picnic. It will be far more costly in lives, and American taxpayer dollars, and all towards accomplishing what goal, what objective? I think that's really at the crux of this decision that President Trump made to take out Soleimani. We've got to make sure.
Yes, of course. This is factually true, and Hardlands Media stands by this statement. Strippers have more value than politicians. That's a Hardlands Media guarantee. Yes, I know. Kid, why are you saying all of this? War is on the horizon. How else should I treat this, people? This is all a distraction from the Epstein files. At the end of the day, in my opinion, this war, military action, perfect distraction from the Epstein files. Don't worry, Trump. Once the war winds on down, the Epstein files, like rising from the grave, will return again.
That our commander-in-chief is making decisions that are based on the best interests of the safety and security of the American people, our own national security, and that's not what's happened here.
All right, so put yourself for a moment in the White House, in the Oval Office. You have a situation where tankers are being hit. You have a situation where an American contractor is killed, and then you have the embassy that we built. It is sovereign United States territory under attack. What would you do?
Well, actually work to de-escalate the situation. We've got to recognize that these things didn't just happen overnight. These things began with Trump's withdrawal from the Iran nuclear agreement, choosing to move away from diplomacy, further escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran, escalating crippling sanctions, a modern-day siege against Iran, sending more and more troops to the region, further escalating tensions, and designating Iran's military as a terrorist organization, further escalating this conflict with Iran, something that's never been done by any country anywhere in the world before.
Right.
And
But
this
if
is
you
where
have-
he has not put the national security interests of our country first. I just want to finish this because there's two main points here of how he has undermined our national security. Number one, every day that goes on that Iran is not in the nuclear agreement, and just, I think yesterday announced that they're no longer abiding by any restrictions that were part of that agreement. That means they're closer to developing a nuclear weapon capability, putting us and the world at risk. And number two, because our forces in Iraq, for example, are no longer going to be focusing on defeating and ensuring that Al-Qaeda and ISIS are not allowed a resurgence.
And what a shame, right? Because it all kind of fell apart anyways, Tulsi. Hey, here's Tulsi again, talking about war with Iran on Hardball on MSNBC, which is now Miss Now. Ooh la la.
And at CNBC today, Vice President Mike Pence said that embattled Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro must go. I wonder about the...
Yeah, hey, didn't that also happen under your watch? You're doing yoga? You're stretching out? What are you stretching out for?
The neocons, if they're coming back, Congresswoman, and whether they see an opportunity in Latin America. You hear the vice president, they're saying things, everything's on the table, military action, everything. The thought of the United States Army going into Venezuela, what do you make of it?
Yeah, look, this administration and the neocon war hawks that surround President Trump have made no secret about what their intentions are to further this regime change effort, both in Venezuela as well as in Iran. So we're hearing these war drums beating. President Trump is acting not with our interests in mind, not with the American people's interests in mind, and moving forward with something that will prove to be very, very costly.
How can a president who ran against stupid wars, and I loved it when Trump said that, I'm against stupid wars, hire John Bolton, Sheldon Adelson's guy, his pick, and why did he bring Elliot Abrams back in on Latin America? I mean, what's going on? He brought the Neos in to do their old stuff again. How do you explain that switch?
That's a great question. We do have a situation with a cabinet full.
Don't you love the time travel? But guys, I got some breaking news for you. I got some huge breaking news. All right. It's not only going to be the U.S. and Israel against Iran, but I want to make sure this is all 100% correct. This is all 100% correct. Hold on. I want to make sure it's all correct. Hang on, because I got the video right here. Is this true? Hold on. Here. United Kingdom. British Prime Minister. UK wants to make an announcement to you people. Hang on. Here he is, folks. Live and direct.
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran.
Who did it?
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability, and for the fate of innocent people across the region, which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes. But we have long been clear. The regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent.
So he's going to basically follow U.S. and Israel. Just throwing it out there.
They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region. Even in the United Kingdom, The Iranian regime poses a direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon. That remains the primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US. I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region, many of which are not parties to this conflict. We extend our support and solidarity to them as part of our commitments to the security of our allies in the Middle East. We have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened. Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people,
So that shows that he already knew.
our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before, in line with international law. We've stepped up protections for British bases and personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and across the region. It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace and security and the protection of civilian life. Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes, give up their weapons programs, and cease the appalling violence and repression against the Iranian people, who deserve the right to determine their own future in line with our long-standing position. This is the route to de-escalation and back to the negotiating table. Thank you.
Well, here's the real conclusion to this. People are going to die. There will be errors in regards to the bombings. Yes, military targets will be hit, but I'm willing to bet civilians will be hit too. And in turn, Iran is going to launch its military strikes. Already, as it's been reported, Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and other outlying regions and countries have also been dealing with bombardment from Iran. It's only a matter of time. It's going to cause more instability, more chaos. You cannot control chaos. And the thing is, as easy as it is to be in superpowered jets and planes, always there will be a flip. There will be a twist, a turn at the end. Replacing the Iranian government, easier said than done. See, people aren't puppets just to say that, oh, yes, we love you. We love you that you're bombing us. And it's one thing to say, too, that, okay, so you're asking the Iranian people, because Trump did say in his address, oh, you need to step up now and go against the Iranian government. Okay, easier said than done, especially if you're going to get mowed down by heavy machine gun and other weaponry. There is no plan here. Human suffering, the perfect distraction to current events. And I'll say this again, the perfect distraction to the Epstein files. When the war winds down, and it will, the Epstein files will still be here waiting. There's still 3 million more files that have not been released. All of 2025, I will say this, the Epstein administration, Trump administration, did everything they could to cover this story up. And now what? What's the point of war with Iran? What is the real point of it? Thought we had a peace deal. Is this really necessary? They're always a week away from having a bomb. Don't worry, humanity's going to nuke itself anyways. What does it matter at this point? Russia has nukes. China has nukes. I don't see you guys doing this. Hell, I don't even see the United States putting pressure on North Korea like this. The biggest mistake the United States ever did, actually, was when you got rid of Muammar Gaddafi. Because he wanted to have his own programs too, but he listened. He was like, you know what? Wait a minute. There has to be a better way. We got these nukes all, and I'm making him out to be a saint because he's not. No politician's a saint. But he's probably thinking like, yeah, why have all these wars? Why have all these pointless, needless, stupid wars? Why have these weapons? And then, oh no, Spaghetti-O, he died. And now Libya's open slave trade. That was a lesson. You give up your new program, you done, baby. In the business, it became a no bueno. When in an alternate timeline, it'd be like, yeah, if he's going to get rid of his nukes, we're going to get rid of ours. Come together, everyone. Hold each other's hands. And you know what? The military-industrial complex and all these inbred rich billionaires said, nah, that's gay. Let's kill everyone. Let's end that. That's stupid. That's stupid. Nah. No, they said no. They said that's a no bueno. They said that's a no bueno. So we have forever wars. Does that offend you? Does it get you angry? You should get angry. What's the point of this? Israel and the United States working. By the way, I will say this. That Tucker Carlson interview with Ted Cruz, a.k.a. Zodiac Killer 2.0. Hold on. Let me actually pull up that interview. Let me pull that up here because that's actually aged like fine wine. That is aged like perfect fine wine. There we go. In fact, hold on. I'm actually going to retweet this here. I found an old tweet of mine. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Of Hard Lens Media. This aged like fine wine. In real time, I'm posting on social media. Kit, get back to work, you lazy bastard. No, I will not. Hang on. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Don't worry, folks. After all, I'm a master. I'm a master at killing time. This aged like fine wine. Hold on. Post. Boom. Posting it. Posting it. Here we go. I think I got it. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect hair forever. Hang on, my lovelies. You're not going anywhere. And yes, I do acknowledge the super chats. I see them in the chat room right now. Don't worry. Shablamo shablam. Shablamo shablam.
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right. With our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're
This was last year, baby.
supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
We're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
This is
Israel.
high stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening. Okay. How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that
because if
relevant?
you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay,
It's not even, you don't know anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know
claims
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder.
Look, listen, I might be critical of Tucker Carlson, but hey, 92 million, that's who lives in the population. Right? What's the ethnic makeup? I'm willing to bet Tucker Carlson right off the bat. And be like, hey, here's the ethnic makeup right here of Iran. Right? Ted Cruz, Zodiac Killer 2.0. You should kind of know this a little bit. Let's hold on. Rewind again.
Around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because,
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that
because if
relevant?
you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even, you don't know anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know
claims
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump.
No,
You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out if it was a
saying
good
you don't
idea to kill
believe-
General Soleimani, and you said it was
don't
bad.
believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation.
Ain't that fascinating? So here we are again in real time Absolute madness. Absolute stupidity. So what's the takeaway? Well, clearly there will be more military strikes. Sunday should be a lot of fun. So until then, folks, drink water, keep your head on a swivel. We got war. Ongoing forever war. Now, will there be more peace? Will there be more, will there be a sit down? I don't know. I could say at best case scenario, this continues on for a whole week, maybe 2 weeks, as a perfect distraction so that the DOJ can delete more files and shred more files from the Epstein files that have not been released. Yeah. Oh, I went there. It's all a distraction. In my opinion, this is all a distraction. It's a perfect distraction in real time. Because what better way to have the American people forget about the most prolific human trafficker in international history than by giving them a shiny war for them to look at and be like, ooh, but don't forget, we have a system now. And by the way, don't forget to pay your taxes so that we can uphold this honorable system of honorable politicians so they can represent their corporate donors, so they can continue to enact their fantasies that are going to be, once again, provided for by another Epstein and Miss Maxwell that are perhaps waiting in the shadows or already inheriting what Miss Maxwell and Mr. Epstein created. Isn't that great? Doesn't that warm your heart, fill your belly, lighten your load? Doesn't that make you feel good? War. What is it good for? A perfect distraction to hide the evidence. What could go wrong? And with that being said, folks, until there's more developing from the story, we do got a couple of super chats here. First of all, Roger Meadows tipped $10. Exercise of power doesn't come from a YouTube host. It comes from us. Exactly. It shouldn't come from me or Jimmy or Due Distance or anybody, any channel. Now, I am all on board. That's right, folks. Look, here. Don't throw tomatoes at me, but here. If TYT or Breaking Points or Kyle or any conservative, any libertarian, anyone wants to come together to stop to speak out, cool. But it comes from the people on the ground. You should not listen to content creators and say like, oh yeah. Now, I think we all should be against this war. That's great. But it's bigger than just one person. Their job is to interview, highlight, and talk about the people doing it. The leader is in the mirror, is in the mirror, not your electric display screen. Exactly, Roger Meadows. Exactly. It shouldn't just come from people like me or anybody else. No, actually, truth be told, you guys are the ones. You're the leaders. Irina tipped $20. Thank you so much for the generosity. Do you think Trump brought certain people into the administration to keep them quiet? Tulsi, RFK Jr., Bengino. Now they can't disagree with them, can't speak out due to contracts. You know what? I think sometimes people aren't who they say they are. I don't know. We got a Rumble rant here. Also, Nocturnal Human. Tulsi was convincing villain in Thunderbolts. Yep, she tried to control the Sentry. Anyways, with that being said, folks, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and making us part of your wonderful Saturday morning. I know. Is Tulsi surfing? Who knows what she's doing? She's doing something. But if you want to help out Hard Lens Media, as always, please be sure to check out our Linktree, Peachtree in the description box below. YouTube, X, Rumble, Kick, Patreon, Substack, Discord, Instagram. And of course, here is our Patreon page as well. Patron supporters, I promised you a show. There'll be a show next weekend. This just took priority. Patron supporters, I owe you. Don't worry. I will repay the debt. I'm so sorry. I love you, patron supporters, because you keep the show happening. So please consider being a patron supporter. You're making sure that we're able to operate all of our accounts, that we're able to pay our bills, that we're able to keep the show going on. Without all of you patron supporters, we would not exist. And as always, if you can, please consider supporting our GoFundMe. We are in a little bit of a legal nightmare, and any donation from anyone who wants to help us out here, again, please consider supporting us. Again, I have to write a lot of thank you letters to people who have been recently donating to our GoFundMe. It's been a huge nightmare. It's been a cost to us emotionally, psychologically, physically, and everything else in between. Links to our GoFundMe can be found in our X account, Facebook account, Instagram, Substack, as well as in our LinkedIn, our YouTube videos as well. All donations are greatly appreciated. And if you can, please share our GoFundMe on all social medias. This has been going on now long enough. One day it will end, but we do need help paying off legal fees. And Unfortunately, it's not going to be ending anytime soon, so please consider supporting our GoFundMe. Our goal is at least get to 50K, a little bit higher than that, but all donations are greatly appreciated. So thank you so much for your solidarity and support. I think what better way to end this than with a song with Jesse Jett. Jesse Jett, who I think is #1 in the hood. Jesse Jett, who I think song pretty much represents how we're all feeling. So with that, folks, take good care, be at peace, much love, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Don't you remember when things used to be better? I do.
SWAT team took your neighbor today. Watch them as they walked him away. You told yourself extremists come in all different shapes. Met his eyes and lowered your gaze. Is it too late for us to ever change? When we are collecting the dust of better days. They're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to be safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Sheriff stopped your daughter today. Pepper sprayed her twice in the face. He must have had good reason if he'd treat her that way. At least that's what they've taught you to say. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days. And they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to feel safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Feds arrived and had you detained. Said you'd made some posts they want changed. Tased you till you felt like you'd forgotten your name, or life before they had you contained. Oh, life before they had you contained. The SWAT team took your neighbor today.